Welcome. In case you didn't make it to class, here we are, and we're looking at this standard deviation and variability spreadsheet document. All right, and so we're working on sheet 2. I already made the video for sheet 1. This was sheet 1. We created a histogram. We found the mean. We started playing around with moving this stuff around. Here's sheet 2. Here's what we're going to do, right? So remember, the yellow is the instructions, prompts, tells you what you should be doing, and you want to put your responses in these salmon-colored pink boxes, all right? These are called cells. Each of these little boxes is called a cell. Each cell has a name. For instance, this cell is called H16. The cell over here is J18. This cell right here is kind of funky. Notice how it's like 3 cells wide, but I can call it L5 or I could call it M5 or N5. All that works. So each one of these cells has a name. Some have multiple names. This cell right here could be like, say, G. I would normally call it G24 because that's what it is in the upper left-hand corner. But you could call it I26 as well. It wouldn't matter. Okay. All right. So part A says put the data into a single column. And I know you probably can't see that. Let me zoom in a little bit. That's probably hard to see. Screencastify doesn't have great resolution. Put the data in a single column. So this is the data that I need to put in a single column. What is this data? This is the lengths in minutes of 50 of the most popular MP3 downloads of songs by the country artist Dierks Bentley. I don't know who Dierks Bentley is, but we're going to do some analysis of the data here. All right, so step A is put the data into a single column. If you're on a Chromebook, here is the best way to do it. I'm not going to use my mouse. I'm just going to use a trackpad just like you have. I'm going to select, I would like to move all of this data here into the F column. That's kind of what I intended. If you want to move it somewhere else and color outside the lines, you might have to do different things. But please, I'd recommend putting it in F for now, okay? I'm going to select G3 because I want to move this data in the G column over to the F column. So I selected G3 because that's where I want my selection to start. I'm going to hover my mouse over G12 here, and I'm going to hold down the Shift key, holding on the Shift key on my keyboard and clicking on G12, and look at that. Everything between G3 and G12 gets selected. Whenever I hold my Shift key and click on something different, click on something, hold Shift key, click on something else, everything in between those two things gets selected. So spreadsheets are kind of, the way spreadsheets work is the spreadsheet wants data to all be in the same column. Because if you want it all to be considered the same category, if I don't put it in the same column here, then it'll think it's what's going on is that this is my x-axis and that these 4 columns are my different values for 4 different functions or 4 different things going on. So let me just review. I click on what I want to select. I go to the end of what I want to select. I hold down my Shift key. I click, and then it selects. Now, right-clicking on my trackpad gives me this drop-down menu. I'm going to cut, right? I'm going to right-click again and paste. All right, I select. I'm going to select here. I want it to select all the way over to here. So I'm holding down the Shift key. I'm clicking. It's selected. If I right-click, I can cut. I want to go down to the bottom and select paste. All right. Another way you can do this is, I'm selecting, holding on the Shift key. Boom, I got it all selected. I can just do Control X, right? I can just do Control X. I don't need to right-click. Control X is the shortcut command for cutting. I go down to the bottom here, and I Control V. Control V is my paste. All right. Last one I'm going to show you is how to do this on a mouse. If you have a mouse, if you're so lucky, you can actually just drag, right? It's that easy. I click on this, I hold down the mouse button, and boom, 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 boom. I select everything I want. Right-click, cut, using the mouse wheel, scrolling down, and pasting. There, we've satisfied A. We put everything in a single column. All right. B is make a histogram that displays the distribution of song lengths effectively. So we did this in sheet 1. We made histograms. It's fairly easy to do to create graphs and charts with spreadsheets. But first, I need to select my data. So before I start doing insert chart here, I need to select my data. So select. I'm selecting F3 for me. All right. I'm scrolling down to the bottom, hovering my mouse over F52, holding down my Shift key, clicking, and then everything in between there gets selected. Notice up here in the upper left-hand corner, It says F3 colon F52. F3 colon F52. You know, I can actually create, it's crazy. I can actually go up here in the name column. I can actually type F3 colon F52 and press enter, and it will just select those things that I told it to. So that's another way to select these things, is just to go in that upper left-hand corner there, or I don't know what it is for your screen, somewhere, and then select the range of everything in between there, all right? So everything is selected, all right? So now I'm ready to insert my histogram. Everything's selected. I go to insert. Up in the upper left-hand corner, there's a menu, a button called insert. All right, I clicked on it and it dropped down a drop-down menu. And then there's chart here, all right? So insert, chart, clicking on chart, it'll say working, and then boom, I have a column chart. I didn't want a column chart, I want a histogram. So I need to change my chart type. Usually histogram is by default. Let's see, where is my histogram? Oh, where could it be? There it is. There's my histogram. All right, so I can just put my histogram here, and all I'm really looking for is, the purpose of this is to show you that, wow, spreadsheets can do histograms and charts for me really easily. If you feel like you want to play around, you can play around. You know, song lengths. I can change the title, right? Song lengths by Derek Bentley. I don't remember how to spell his name. All right, so I can change the title over here. If I wanted to change my y-axis here, I could do song length, right? Song length there. I can perhaps I want to add a let's see, chart and axis titles. I want to add a horizontal axis title. Where's my horizontal? There it is, horizontal. I want to name this frequency. You don't have to do this, totally optional. I just want you to know that you can play around and get all this to happen for you. All right. Maybe someday when you have a career or want to do a project in college it has to do with science or engineering or data analysis, you know, spreadsheets are going to be your go-to document. Spreadsheets is the math document. All right. Resizing things there. Okay. So, oof. All right. Here's our histogram. All right. We're done with B. We made a histogram. You can choose the bucket size. I find that to be fun. If you go to edit, sorry, I didn't show, I did things without talking about it. I clicked up here and there's 3 little dots. Click on that, and there's edit chart, all right? I can edit this chart, and if I customize, if I click customize and customize histogram, I can change the bucket size, right? I can change the bucket size to 1. I can change the bucket size to 2. I'm looking for an effective bucket size. The auto choice, I don't know what that was. I want to choose, I'm going to choose 0.5, so half a minute long. That's a pretty decent bucket size. I like it. I just want, again, you don't have to change yours. I'm just showing you that you can change it, that you can manipulate how this is represented, right? And then C asks us to describe the distribution of our histogram. We would describe this as this distribution is skewed, right? It's skewed to the right. Notice this little tail here to the right. It is skewed to the right. Okay, if I was looking at this, I'd say my mean is probably somewhere between 4 and 4.50, and I would say that my median is probably, I don't know, somewhere between 3.5 and 4, because the median is less sensitive to that skew over here. Okay. Speaking of mean and median, we're going to calculate those next. All right, and it's really easy to do with spreadsheets. What is the mean? I actually gave you little notes for each one of these, so this gives you a little indication of what you can do. You can actually just copy this. You can select, Control C, and then paste this up here in the bar, and that will work for you. Huh, look at that, that'll work for you. 3.998 is the mean. All right, it calculated the mean just that easy. If you want to do it manually, that's fine. I respect that. All right, here's how it's done. Get out of here. Nope, I want you to go away. There we go. All right, I'm clicking on the little salmon colored thing where I want to put this. Equal sign. Equal sign says to a spreadsheet, calculate something for me. All right, then you need to give it a command. You need to tell it what to calculate. I want you to calculate average. All right, so the average is the way we calculate mean. Mean and average mean the same thing. Right? It's the same idea. So calculate the average, and now I got to tell it what to calculate the average of. Well, I want it to be between F3 here. F3, if I click on it, notice how it just typed F3 right in there. And if I scroll down to F52, if I hold down my shift key, holding down my shift key, look at that. It actually typed colon F52 in there for me. I press enter, boom, it's done. If you just want to type that in all manually, respect that too, that's fine. You like it, you like your stuff the hard way, that's fine. Colon F3, F3 colon F52, enter, boom, it's done. Okay? 3 different ways of putting this data in here. What's the minimum? Well, the wonderful thing about the spreadsheets is that it's not just there to calculate the average, not just the mean. It can calculate all sorts of stuff. I can find the minimum, right? I can find the smallest number in this data set. Calculate equal sign, so equal sign min, open parentheses, F3 to F52, right? And enter, boom. It found that the smallest number in that data set was 2.9. Right? I would have to go and look through this data set and scan and look around, and oh, there it is. There's the 2.9 that it found, but it can do that for me, right? The TI-84 can't even do this for me, right? But spreadsheets can, right? What's the maximum? What's the maximum of this data? Well, I can click on where I want to type it in. Equal sign, max. Max is the command to find the maximum number. Find the maximum number between F3 colon F52. F52, all right? And then enter, boom. It found that the biggest number was a 7, right? Right, that 7 right there, or somewhere in here, there's a 7. I'd have to scan, there we go. I found the 7, but again, it takes so much of the work off me rather than having me find it. I don't know if there's a range command. I'm not going to look it up. Maybe there is a range command, but I'm not going to do that. I already found the maximum. That's 7. I already found the minimum. I'm going to tell it to take this cell. This is cell L11. That's the maximum, cell L11. Take cell L11 and subtract cell L8, right? L8. Take the max, subtract the min. That's the range. I know that range is max minus min. So I'm going to go over here at range, equal sign, L11. What was it? L11, I think? L11. Yep, that's the L11. Minus L, what was it? 7? L8? L7. Minus L7. Boom. Enter. Oh, did I do it right? That doesn't sound right. Did I do something wrong? That is... this is because this is L8. So I need to change this. Take L11 minus L8. So I go over here. To change it. Take L11 minus L8. Boom. There it is. There's my range. 7 minus 2.9 is 4.1. Okay? That's what it just did. It took whatever's in cell 11 and it subtracted whatever is in cell 8, cell 8, and then it found that the range is 4.1. It can do median fast, right? The command for median is great. It's median, right? Equal sign, median, right? Equal sign median, and tell it to go from F3 colon F52. Oop, I need an F in that 52. Otherwise, it does a lot more than what I want, all right? So median F3 colon F52. Enter, boom. It found that the median is 3.85, right? I have again, in each one of these little boxes, a little cheat will pop up for you, okay? There, it calculated the median for me. So now I already have almost everything I need for my box and whisker plot, right? Except for the quartiles. Let's do those quartiles next, right? I click on it over here. I want you to calculate something. So I'm pressing the equal sign. I want you to calculate the quartile, all right? And now I need to tell it what data to use. Well, it's F3 to colon F52 again. And the thing is I wanted to find the first quartile. So to do that, there's a special little, they call it parsing. They call it, there's another word for it, but parsing. Yeah, it's like computer lingo. It's computer language. I need to do comma 1. Comma 1 says, go find the first quartile. Go find the first one. All right, the first quartile, that's 3.525 apparently, right? Find the third quartile. I'm going to do the same idea. And again, you can just copy this, copy and paste. The point of this activity, I pasted it and I found it immediately. The point of this activity is that so that you know the power of spreadsheets, so that you know that a spreadsheet can find you the quartiles. It can find you the median. I want you to know that spreadsheets can calculate things for you. I want you to understand that it has power. If you don't have these exact numbers, I'm not as concerned. The main concern is to show you the potential and power of a spreadsheet. That's it. That's all I've got for today. All right, that's sheet 2. All right, sheet 3 we'll do tomorrow.